Do that again?
They pretend to be a condor to raise. The team that I picked to win the championship is down 1 with 1 minute left.
He's watching.
Oh my gosh.
Basketball.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Duke's down by 1 point with 1 minute left. And I picked them to win the tournament. So.
This is completely representative of married life right now. I'm fixing his show while he watches basketball.
Cuddles.
Love you, honey. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a crazy story for you today.
And a special guest.
And a special guest. This is Eric. He is here because he is an integral part of this story. What a story it is. Oh my gosh. We went from Sacramento, which is where we started off, down to Mexico. Then on our way back, we stopped off in Santa Monica, kind of did some touristy things there. And then from there, we were heading back to Sacramento. We were doing really, really good for time. And we didn't need to be back until late that night. So Eric suggested, hey, why don't we stop off on the way at this national park? It's called Pinnacles National Park, and go for a hike because we're doing so fun. We've got all of this extra time. And I was like, that sounds like the best decision we've ever made. Let's do that.
So I'd been there once before, and you know how all guys are, they want to show girls new things for them that they've already done. Be the cool guy that like, check out my new car. It's like, check out my new national park. You know, that I had known about, but no one else knew about. So. And
it was in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing around this place, no civilization for a good couple of hours drive. Okay, so then we arrived at this national park, got out of the car, all excited to hike. Mind you, it was cold. So we put our jackets on and we headed off. How long was the hike?
What, about an hour and a half each way?
So it was a 3-hour round trip hike. Halfway up, we meet this dude who, what was the bird that he?
California condor, which is an endangered species.
He either worked for the national park, was contracted by them to do something with the birds, to help preserve them or attack them, something like that.
In the park, part of what they do to grow the population is they dress up like mommy condors. And if the mama dies after it's laid an egg, they go and they like feed it, you know, and they like pretend to be a condor.
Do that again?
They pretend to be a condor to raise it and teach it how to grow, because the condor will only lay 1 egg a year.
Okay, so we run into this guy, and while we're talking to him, all of a sudden, Eric realizes that he doesn't have the car keys anymore. Tell us, where were the car keys located on your physical person before you lost them?
I was wearing basketball shorts, and they were tucked in the waistband of my basketball shorts with the key fob dangling out. Okay, so this is exactly what the infamous key fob looks like. So basically you had this end inside of your waistband of your shorts, and then this end hanging out. For anyone that doesn't know how Prius car keys work, instead of having a car physical key that you stick into the ignition and turn, it has a car fob and just a press start button. So inside of the car fob, there actually is a key, little known fact. But you have to kind of click down this button in order to pull it out, but you don't ever do that. Yeah, so you can, this button makes it so the key. Right, I mean, that's not easy either, so it must have been loose. We speculated that it must have been loose at the time. So this, so this part stayed on his waistband, this part fell off somewhere in the park. Well, I figured I didn't want to be super upset about it at the time, because it could be turned in by somebody that walking the other way could have turned it in, or maybe we'd find it on the way back. I had a thought go through my head at the time thinking, what if one of the condors picked it up and flew away with it? We would never see it again, or some kind of animal. I remember seeing a couple of kids. I wonder if those kids saw him and like thought it was a fun thing to just like peg them out into the middle of bush and nothingness. We would say chuck in America. We'd say chuck it. Okay. Because that's the sort of thing that stupid kids do. Like they, you know, find important, valuable things and just like throw them just to be annoying. So we continued on the hike up to the peak, at which point I called my employer because I was supposed to be working the next day. So I just thought I should let them know what was going on. So an hour and a half worth of hike. At the very freaking top, and once you climb some boulders, there was a little bit of service. So like if we wanted to make any calls, we literally had to stay. I mean, granted, the view was wonderful, but we had to stay at the top of this mountain peak.
Although most of the trail was wide and easy to navigate, there was part of the trek that went through a cave. Yes, a freaking cave. And on top of it being dark in the cave, there was water in the cave. There were pools of water scattered throughout the cave. And we just looked at each other and we were like, man, if it fell in any of that water, we're never getting it back. And here's the real kicker. So part of the water, when you just exit out of the cave, goes alongside this set of stairs. Eric had the bright idea of pretending to hang off the side of the staircase railing to make it look like he was falling. He thought it would be like a cool, cheesy picture.
Well, I legitimately did it.
I'm a worrywart, so I was really nervous about his safety in doing it. I was like, oh my goodness, you're gonna fall and hurt yourself. Anyway, so just beneath him was this body of water.
It was just like mud that you could like just literally dip your arm all the way up to your elbow in. It's man-eating mud. That's what it was, man-eating mud.
Pretty much. And I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks on me, but I feel like when he was hanging over the edge, I felt like I heard something drop, like a little rock or something like that. The entire time we were on the trek, we stuck to the path. We didn't veer off into long grass or anything like that. We stuck to the path, and it was a wide path. So if it had fallen somewhere on the path, we should have found it. So the thought did go through our minds, did someone pick these up? Did someone pick them up and pocket them or throw them, kick them? You know, it would be a really crappy thing to do.
Either the man-eating mud ate it, or somebody picked it up and didn't turn it in.
Yeah.
I like to think it was the first, but
I don't know, because
I feel like it was the second.
So we ended up heading back down to the ranger station, let them know what was going on. We used their phone actually. And I called my employer again. My employer offered to come and pick us up. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's a really far drive to where we are. And I'm so sure that we're gonna find it. So, you know, don't worry. And mind you, to this day, I don't think that my boss believed me about what was happening. I think that they thought I was just trying to get an extra day off work. That was so not what happened. If you're watching this, I swear to you, this really happened. We're at the ranger station, and then he offered us a blanket because he was going home for the night and we were going to be stuck there. Thankfully, we were actually able to get inside of the car. We just couldn't start it.
Because we had the key portion, we could open the car. We just couldn't turn it on and get heat or anything.
Which meant we couldn't charge our phones. And I remember that extra blanket that he gave us. Oh my goodness, it did not help. I just remember being so cold and miserable the whole night. I felt like I didn't sleep much because it was so cold.
I didn't even know, at the time, I wasn't even thinking straight to think that we were ever leaving. Like, it was just like, well, we're stuck here forever.
We just live in this
like, I couldn't call my parents. So to even tell them to come get me, and what do you even do? Just busy training her well. She's here making me a sandwich while we're out here in the national park.
We wake up the next morning and have some breakfast, which was gourmet peanut butter on sourdough bread.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was sourdough bread. Dude, that sounds good even right now.
But dude, it was stale.
Well, it's because there was frost on the car, because it was like in the high 20s.
Yes, the whole car was just covered in ice, just like ice. Other people started arriving at the park and they're looking at our car amongst all the other cars, and ours is covered in ice, and they're like, what happened to you guys? I think they thought we must have come from the snow or something. We
went back up the trail. This is now the third time we're doing the hike again. We know this place like the back of our hand now. Because you're in the middle of nowhere, you see other human life, and you're like, humans. I think of the 4 to 6 people that we saw, 2 of them happened to be going back to Sacramento, and they offered us a ride.
Chances?
Not only low that they were going where we were from, but that they would take us there.
So like, legit.
Praise the almighty
But
God.
They had, well, absolutely, because they had a fish sticker on the back of their car. So,
yeah. So they took us back, we gave them gas money, and told them to order any of the 2 things off the In-N-Out menu.
Hey, if any of you are heading to Pinnacles National Park, keep a lookout for our Prius keys.
No. So the next day, so what, it's now Tuesday. we went back and fetched the car. Gotta go fetch my car. 3.5 hours each way from from their house.
Luckily, he had a spare set of keys at home. Yeah. That was the story. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found it entertaining, and stay tuned for the next one. Cool.
Okay. Happy?
And
guess what? Duke won by 1 somehow.
It's because you weren't watching it.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was 31 minutes of recording.